Spencer Lazara, MMA interviews alongside Marcus Brimage. This weekend, UFC 175, he's on the main card. His debut at 135, taking on Russel Doane, a guy who's come into the UFC and made a little bit of a splash, a couple wins. Talk about, first off, getting down to 35 and then the matchup.
Getting down to 35 totally sucked. I had to weigh my food, 4 ounces. And after about 5 o'clock, I stopped eating solid meals, so to make sure everything's digested, make sure my calorie output is more than my calorie intake. So it's been very moody camp, but I'm getting it done. I'm 145, 2 days out right now, so I'm good.
How long did you have to do that specific diet of doing that?
Truth be told, as soon as I signed the contract, that's when I started doing it. And it was sometime around May 25th when I signed the contract. So that's when it's like serious and real. So that's what I had to do.
What made you make this decision to drop? Was there any pressure from the UFC saying it'd be a better fit, or was it just something that you felt like you would be a better fit at?
It was something I felt like I'd be a better fit at. When I was on the Ultimate Fighter season 14, John Dotson told me I was bantamweight, and you know, I told him to do something with my genitalia because I just made 45. That was my first time fighting at 45, and truth be told, I was pretty ignorant on the weight cutting and the proper techniques to get my size down. And so being on the Ultimate Fighter show really showed me just how to be a professional outside of the ring as well, because like Prince Albert, I remember he was weighing his food, and that was the first time I ever saw that, and I was like, yo, what the hell are you doing? And the weight cutting techniques that Michael Bisping showed me that made the weight cut a lot easier. So, and the main thing were my opponents, because I see my opponents at weigh-in and I'm just like, okay, yeah, that guy's skinny, I got him. And then the next day, I'm like, hold up, he was not that big yesterday. So, and the height disadvantage that I always had, because when you're short, you're used to being short. So, you know, I'm just used to being the shorter fighter. But being at 135, I'm more of a average. You know, it's like everyone else is around my height. So. And I have a reach advantage over a majority of 35ers, which I know how to use because I can box my ass off. So all those factors played a huge role into me dropping down to 135.
You've always had that speed advantage watching your fight, though, and that kind of quickness, athletic advantage, and you had that low center of gravity. It worked for you at 45. Do you feel like at 35 that's going to be any different? Do you still feel like you'll have, you know, the speed advantage, or do you feel like it'll be something you've done maybe to keep that advantage or keep it equal, should say?
Oh, well, even though I have lost a significant amount of weight, I'm still black. The speed and the power is still there. It's just now my opponents are a lot lighter.
Talk about preparation in the camp leading up to this.
We had to cover everything because Russel Doane is very dangerous everywhere. I mean, first of all, those Hawaiian brawlers, man, they are tough. I mean, super tough to put away. And his UFC debut, I saw that he comes forward and he chunks heavy leather. So I was like, okay, it's gonna be a brawl. And then I saw that he actually made a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt go to sleep. And I was like, okay, so this guy got some jits too. So that makes it even more dangerous, because, you know, he's dangerous standing up, he's dangerous on the ground, and he's very calm. Because you know, my UFC debut, I was so nervous I could not put Stephen Bass away to save my life. But this guy, UFC debut, just put away a jiu-jitsu black belt, and that's huge.
Talk about being on the main card. I mean, this is the biggest card probably of the year, and here you are on the main card for it.
Truth be told, that's something that I appreciate, but Facebook, Fox Sports 1, UFC pay-per-view, I fight for the UFC, so I'm happy either way it goes, and I'm just very happy and blessed for this opportunity.
No difference for some sponsors? I mean, it has to be a pretty good selling point for some sponsors being on the main card.
Well, that I let my manager, Charles McCarthy, worry about all that. My job is to come in there and fight, and that's what I worry about.
Who are your main training partners that got you ready for this fight?
Oh, man, I mean, come on. American Top Team is just a whole slew of great MMA fighters, you know. But since dropping down to the lower weight class, I did a lot of wrestling with Brad Pickett. And just to get used to the certain speed that the 135ers have. And even now, he's dropping down to flyweight, so that guy's even faster, you know. I still keep it gangster with Daniel Strauss because that guy's wrestling is just off the chain, and he will die before he will not get a takedown, you know. So I utilized all that. My boxing gym, ABC Boxing, dealing with a lot of Russians, so that's never fun, boxing against Russians. But everybody just came together, helped me out, and the new training facility that I work train at now, it's called Dreams to Reality Training. They helped me a lot with the traditional martial arts, especially like I even do Tai Chi because it helps my flexibility, and which helped out a lot with my jiu-jitsu game.
Okay. Yeah, how important is that to not get stuck only boxing? Because you have great hands, some of the best boxing, but not getting stuck there, making sure you're not one-dimensional and you can keep guys guessing.
Well, this game is ever evolving, and either you evolve with it or you'll die out like the dinosaurs.
Evolve or dissolve.
Yes.
Anything else you want to say?
I would just like to thank all my sponsors. I would like to thank my team, my cornerman, Chris Conley, Tommy Elliott, Spartan Fitness, T3E Athletics, American Top Team, Dreams to Reality Training Center, my new management group, Guardian Management. Thank y'all so much for believing in me and taking me on as a client.
All right, appreciate the time, Marcus Brimage. Make sure you check him out. Main card, UFC 175 this weekend, taking on Russel Doane.
Hey, this is Ariane Celeste.
This is Uriah Faber, UFC lightweight champ Anthony Showtime Pettis.
This is Dan Henderson. You're watching MMA Interviews.
MMA Interviews.
You're watching MMAinterviews.tv.